Hey guys, welcome back to 4th and 21, a Bears podcast by Bears fans. I'm Arturo. This is Alex. Make sure you do all the good stuff. Hit the subscribe button, notification bell, and like the video. Also, don't forget to comment so we can respond to you about your opinion too. If you've watched before, you know how it goes down. If not, just stay tuned. Alrighty, bear down.
Bear down. 3-0.
Shit, 3 and fucking 0.
I think I'd be saying that. Although, to be fair, in my predictions, I do have us 3 from the prediction. I said I didn't think I'd be saying that, but I actually did think I'd be saying that.
To vote, I predicted that. Yeah, I had us at 2-1. Obviously, that didn't pan out. But I did say at the end of that I was hoping I was wrong, and that I was honestly shocked. But Nick Foles did what he was brought here to do. See how that goes going forward. But yeah, it was a good game. Both quarterbacks had good games. I think Trubisky, that interception was the last straw. I don't know why, but
it seemed a little premature.
He had a good game. He had a fucking great run. Good, honestly, moving in the slot, he did really well. That interception was honestly
it was his fault.
It was 100%. Bad. It was bad. Really bad.
100% it was his fault. But I just to me that shows that Nagy was just waiting for the opportunity to pull.
I mean, he got the interception, and besides us, he was gonna be like, no.
I was just shocked when Nick Foles went in. I was like, really? We're 2-0. Trubisky led us to a comeback against the Lions in the fourth quarter, down 17 points. What's to say that he can't do it again?
Yeah.
And obviously, it's hard to argue with Nagy's decision because it worked out for us. We're now 3-0, and Foles did what Trubisky did and brought us back in the fourth quarter. We set an NFL record.
Yeah.
No team ever has won 2 games in the same season, down 16 or more points in the fourth quarter, and we did it twice in the first 3 games. I don't want us to break that record even more. I really don't want us to be in that situation for the rest of the season, but still a pretty cool record nonetheless. But, let's get into the Indianapolis predictions.
Well, I mean, yeah, they're 2-1. Luckily, they're playing in Chicago.
They're
undefeated at home still, 2 games. There's no fans still, but just Chicago.
Just having that comfort level of being in your locker room and stuff like that.
It's just.
I do think it plays a part, but yeah, not having the fans definitely doesn't make it as big of an advantage as it otherwise would have.
Yeah. Although I feel like Bears players, other players too from other specific teams around the league, I'm sure too, but even with no fans, I'm sure they chant, they kind of pretend. Kind of like when you're a kid and you pretend to be playing in the NFL or the NBA or professional soccer, whatever, hockey. You envision that noise, and right now it's kind of like that for them because they're in this empty-ass stadium. It's like when we played soccer at stadium,
nobody there,
not a full fucking crowd. I think the Bears, Hicks especially, I'm sure he is always just
he doesn't need that outside motivation. All his motivation will come his motivation comes internally. So yeah.
So I feel him, and honestly, I don't think Foles reacts well. Not well. He doesn't really react to noise or whatnot. He kind of is always.
He's just
been a player.
He's just very low key. Just good or bad, he's just pretty low key. Which is not a bad thing because if something bad happens, he's not sitting there. I don't think Trubisky does well when he throws an interception. Foles, I don't think it does anything to his confidence or anything. He literally is just the exact same person after an interception as he is after a touchdown.
Yeah.
So I do think that's beneficial for this playing atmosphere. I am happy though that the Bears are playing this game in Chicago. I think it's going to be a tough game. I think the difference could just be the comfortability of being at home or being away. My original prediction was we beat the Colts 20-13. I am going to revise that. I'm going to keep it as a W because, like I said, I'm not going to change any of my win-losses. But one, they're a really tough defense. But two, they have a really good running game right now with Jonathan Taylor. And that's kind of where the Bears defense is struggling.
And wide receiver, like no one's standing out, but like 4 or 5 of their players got like, 30, 40, 50, 50 yards. Like they all fucking, it's hard to pinpoint one player when they're running.
Yeah.
And then they have the running game to be their backbone.
But the thing is, I would be shocked if we walk away from this game with 0 takeaways. Like, Phillip Rivers already has 3 interceptions this year, and
he's probably going to throw
3 touchdowns.
Probably throw 2.
He has 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. That's not good. Phillip Rivers is known for throwing interceptions, so I'm not too worried on that end. But I just see them running the ball and saying, "Stop us."
Yeah.
And that's kind of where our weakness is. But when they do throw the ball, Phillip Rivers will at least once will make a bad decision, and the Bears will capitalize on it. I could see it definitely happening twice.
But Wrigley.
I could definitely see it happening twice, but at least once in this game he'll make a bad decision like he always does. So I'm not too worried about Phillip Rivers. What I am also concerned about is their offensive line is really good.
Yeah.
And
tough.
if we have not been creating the pressure that I expected us to, part of that is because Quinn hasn't been playing as many games as I thought he would be, or not games, as many snaps.
Yeah.
Obviously because of his injury and stuff like that, but every week that should go up, so our pressure should get better every single week. But yeah, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't concerned at all about their offensive line. Like, they are really fucking good. But if there's a defensive front that can actually
Break
test
through
them,
yeah.
It's ours. Like Robert Quinn, Khalil Mack, and Akeem Hicks, who has been having a phenomenal season so far. Akeem Hicks, he was my breakout player.
He's staying healthy, which is
he has been phenomenal.
Still, after every hit or anything, I wait.
Knock on wood for that.
Yeah. Sorry, bud.
But yeah, no, their offensive line terrifies the shit out of me, just because they're so good. And Phillip Rivers, with time, will make the right decision. But he's also somebody that if you pressure him, will make a bad decision.
They would terrify me if it was last year and only had Khalil Hicks. And now I have Khalil, Akeem, and Quinn, like you said, playing more and more. So, I mean, last year I would have been kind of like, oh, fuck, but I think it's going to be fucking fun to watch. It's going to show us when we do, or when they break through that offensive line, that they are that other team.
Yeah.
They should be
They're
looking
top defensive line.
Jesus, dude.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, here we go. So yeah, what was your original prediction?
24-10 us.
24-10.
Yeah.
Are you gonna keep that, or are you thinking about revising it?
I think it's I think we're actually gonna end up with 27.
27-16. Yeah. All right. Take me through your change of score.
Well, honestly, with Foles now, I think the whole game plan for the other team kind of changed because they've been looking this. They kind of saw for a half how Foles would play an entire game because it's fourth quarter, but how he's going to run his game. But I think now they have to kind of switch back. They can't really look at the past 2 games.
Yeah, that is true.
Do anything.
They have a lot less tape on Foles. It's a good point. I didn't think about that.
And I just think, like, with him out there, you're going to get an opportunity to just get in there, get another field goal just for safety. And, I think they are going to do some work with us, especially if they get further down the field with their running game. But I have faith we're going to hold them to see. They might get a couple to come back. Because it might be, 16 to 20 at that point. And they're trying to come within one score. But then, I just think They're going to get close, but I think we're going to do that thing again where we force them to field goals. We'll fold up. We'll get another chance to just have Santos try and put one into just that little.
We definitely have that bend but don't break type defense. Like a lot of teams will get good yardage on us, but it's difficult for them to get it in the end zone.
Yeah.
Once they get into the red zone, I think our defense gets a lot more stout. So it bends to the point where they get there, but they don't break. They hold people to field goals, which is huge. And the difference with, I think, having Foles in versus Trubisky is Foles will actually convert those red zone well, I was going to say appearances into touchdowns. I think we have a better chance every time we're in the red zone that Foles will get us into the end zone rather than Mitch. And if you guys watched previous videos, I wasn't against Mitch. I still am not against Mitch. I think he got benched too early. Do I think it was a wrong decision? Hard to argue when we win with Foles.
Yeah.
And yes, he only scored 3 touchdowns, but he also had one pulled out of Allen Robinson's hands in the end zone for an interception. And then the second one got dropped by Anthony Miller, and then he scored 3 more touchdowns. So he actually basically threw 5 touchdown passes in that game if our wide receivers actually did their end their job. But yeah, I think having Foles out there is going to we're going to convert more red zone appearances into touchdowns rather than field goals. And if our defense can just hold them to field goals, that's going to be the difference in our game. I had us winning 20-13. They are a stout defense. They're really good actually against the pass, which is why, again, I think this was kind of planned by Nagy all along. I think he wanted Trubisky out as quickly as possible, but couldn't take him out week 1 because then it would have looked really bad on your coaching staff. But as soon as week 3 comes by, it's like, okay, did he fuck up? All right, let's take him out, put Foles in, and Foles has a way better chance of doing a good job against this Indianapolis defense that's so good against the pass. Because Trubisky looks to his number 1 and then checks down to his number 2. Foles can recognize the defense and recognize he can jump from 1 to 3 rather than 1, 2, 3, 4. Like Trubisky is like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. He looks down.
By that time, yeah, they're already right in front of him.
By that time, he's getting sacked or
throwing the. No, he doesn't even throw the ball.
He doesn't throw the ball.
He goes down.
He just goes down.
Time. To learn to do that.
But
shit.
Foles can recognize the defense and jump from 1 straight to 3 because he's like, I see the way that this defense is going. 2 is going to be my number 2 wide receiver is going to be covered. I'm going to my 3rd check down. So I think that having him in against this Indy defense is going to be way more beneficial for us. I was on Mitch's side. I really was. It sucked seeing him on the sidelines so fucking defeated. Yeah. But if you want to ask me right now what's better for the team, it's Nick Foles. Sure. And I don't think we'd win this game. Like, I would come in, if Trubisky was still starting, I would sit here and say, I don't think we're going to win this game. I called it a win, so I can't change that. But with Foles in the game now, and for the rest of the season, hopefully, as long as he doesn't get injured, I really think that we have a good chance of winning this game. 20-13, honestly, I'm like, should I change it? Their rushing game is going to be pretty good. I think I am going to change it to 26 to – this is a tough one for me. Their defense is really good.
Maybe take a shot.
Like, we put up how many points against the Lions? 27?
Yeah.
And 17 against the Giants. And then 30 against the Falcons. But how many did Foles put up 24 of those. Or no, sorry, he put up 20 of those. 20 of them. So he did that in one half, and 2 of his touchdowns got dropped. But again, their secondary is not considerable to the Colts. But I just can't see Foles messing up 4 or 5 drives. I really see him doing really well. Also, not having Tariq Cohen's going to make a big difference.
Yeah.
We're down to basically 2 running backs. I don't know if Pierce is going to get any. They just brought him up from the practice squad, but I don't know if he's going to come in and actually do anything.
Probably just to fill this.
But I do think it's going to change Nagy's play calling.
Need a lot more throws.
But I think it actually might change it in a better way. I think having too many weapons for Nagy, he gets too fucking he tries to get too creative. Tries to get too he tries to get too Andy Reid on it, and he's not Andy Reid. Not yet.
Nobody's Andy.
Nobody's Andy Reid, but he's from his coaching tree.
Well, because he had one fucking great year and he did a lot of crazy shit.
But I think now he has too many weapons. If he has all these weapons,
hone in.
Yeah, last year he didn't have enough weapons. Now this year I think he has too many weapons. I'm not saying not having Tariq Cohen's going to help us, but I think play calling wise he's going to have less things to call. His play sheet's probably going to lose 5 to 6 plays, and I think.
But knowing him, he could honestly just not even take the play out, just change one thing about it, and still try and do all these crazy.
Well, that's the thing. Tariq Cohen a lot of times was a safety net for Trubisky. If he didn't see his number, his first throw, he was like, oh, well, Tariq Cohen's going to be, running
outside.
On the outside, I'll throw it to him. Or across the middle, swing route, whatever. But with Foles, that's not the case. That's going to be his very last option that he's going to look at is his dump-off pass. Where he's just oh, my running back's out there, I'll give it to him. He's going to be realizing what the defense is, jumping from 1, 3, 2, and then his very last option will be the running back. So having Tariq not be there, to me, it's not good, but I don't think it's going to be as drastic as we think it's going to be. I also like Montgomery getting more touches. I think he's one of those players that the more touches he gets, the better he is going to be. The more catches he gets, the more opportunity he gets, he's just going to be better. I don't mind Montgomery being a bell cow runner. We've been splitting it, not evenly, but there have been touches going to Tariq, touches to Cordero Patterson, and I think if we just focus on Montgomery, that won't be a bad thing for us. I'll take the shot, and then I'll pick my new score.
Yeah, I was gonna say went full.
Fuck, I'm really struggling on this because
you're done.
All right, I got my score.
You didn't say bear down.
Bear down. Fuck, did you? I didn't hear it.
Did I? You guys can comment and let them know.
All right, so original score 20-13. I'm gonna change it to 26-16.
Okay.
Where I got that from is I think they're gonna get 1 touchdown, 3 field goals. And I also think that their defense is pretty stout. But I think that we can put up at least definitely minimum 2 touchdowns on them. You know what? I'm gonna go 27-16.
Oh, so you're matching me fully.
Is that what your score is? Fuck. Well, I don't want to fucking do that. I'll stick with my 26-16.
All right, and then they're gonna win 27-16.
I
should have changed it, but I didn't.
No, I was thinking 24-16.
Whoa.
I thought that's what you called. So I'll actually go to 24-16. I thought that's what you called for some reason. So then I changed it to 26. Because I don't want to copy you. I'm good with 24-16. I think Foles can throw 2 touchdowns. Montgomery will run in a touchdown. I can see Santos missing another field goal for us. And then he goes 1 for 2 on field goals this Sunday.
Yeah.
So 24-16. I honestly, that's what I was thinking, and for some reason, I thought that was your score, and that's why I changed it. I didn't realize you had 27. All right, so I got 24-16. You have 27-16, right? 16.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I think Foles is going to be the main difference in this game. Obviously, he's the only change in our lineup.
I mean, besides Tariq.
Yes, besides Tariq Cohen. Punt returns, though, I'll be honest, like in the first 3 games, he didn't do much punt returning wise. And he hasn't had bad games. Like he's been playing well, but he hasn't been a huge part of our offense. He's just been that like change of pace back.
Kind of been a gadget player.
Yeah, he's been more gadget. Yeah, he's been kind of like a Cordero Patterson. Like he hasn't been used a lot. He's just been used correctly though. Whereas in last year he was not. He was being used too much. He's not that like 20 touch a game running back.
No.
You just bring him in at certain points, bring in that different speed.
20 touches a game, like 1.5 yards per carry. It's like not worth it.
Well, that's what's worrying me. Montgomery only had 3.2 yards per carry last game. And this is a good run defense and a good pass defense. But you know what's going to change this week? Again, it comes down to Nick Foles. Play action.
Yeah.
And the RPO. The RPO is going to be huge. Although Trubisky did do pretty well with the RPO, Nick Foles is going to do better. Like he's better at the line.
Trubisky did better than he had done previously.
Yes.
But Foles already knows how to do it. He's not learning how to run that.
Yes.
Like if the snap happens and he has to adjust, he has no fucking problem doing that. And I feel safe as fuck being like, all right, who's going to get the ball? Not like, oh, fuck, who's going to get the ball?
Yeah.
It's more of like, all right, he has shit. I don't know. I definitely underestimated him. I don't think I said it a lot, but in my head, I was just like, I always think to like, that, and I was like, could have had Cam for cheap.
Well, that's looking like it,
and
probably would have been the better choice right now.
Yeah. But like, you know what? He still kind of fucking has it. He's got it.
No, he does. But the thing is, can he do it as a starter? Because he's known as a great backup. He's known as a great backup, but can like when he has the reins?
Well, he's given the opportunity, and he's in Chicago, so fucking better.
Yeah, no, I think he's gonna do great for us as long as he stays healthy. I think things will definitely pick up on our offense because I think Nagy's play calling. They said in their interviews like the play calling is not gonna be that different. Fuck that, it totally will be. How many times did Trubisky go deep this year? Very few. We still haven't seen. I called a bomb to Mooney last week against this Atlanta defense. I was wrong. That was the one prediction I pretty much had wrong in our last video. Other than that, I down to the intercepting on their last drive, and that's how we were going to win the game. I had pretty much all my predictions right except for that one. But I think now we're going to play a lot further downfield. Even just look at our touchdown to Anthony Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what happened there? In the huddle, Foles told him, he was like, just run to the L. I'm pretty sure they're bringing a bunch of pressure. Just run to the L in the end zone. ATL. Run to the L, and I will drop it in there for you. And that's exactly, if you watch the replay, it's exactly where Anthony Miller catches the ball is on the L.
So crazy.
Yeah. So.
Well, that's another thing is Foles hasn't just been a quarterback in the league that's been a backup and just been a backup. Like he's played also more than a backup usually does. He's had to take over. He had,
Yeah, no, like he's played a bunch of games in the league.
So like I know not just we, but like a lot of people, football fans and Chicago fans especially, are like there's no need to bring him in at this point when we had someone else to get, or like we're gonna keep Trubisky. Like, this just doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, why of all people. But he's pretty fucking underrated when it comes to.
Well, and that's the thing.
When it
people
comes
are
to
like,
the
Jacksonville.
he was in, playing as like backup to
last year Jacksonville.
Fucking Carson Wentz. Like,
yeah, he crushed it. But do you know why that was? Because he had the right coaching. He had the right offensive plan. everyone keeps going back to Jacksonville. They're like, they gave him the reins, and he didn't even do well before he got injured in like 2 or 3 games. Fuck that. Do you think Jacksonville has a good, like,
No. He went from
good coaches?
He went from a great team to here's a team.
Here's one of the shittiest teams in the league. Here's one of the shittiest teams in the league. Go out and go, like, crush it. Like, yeah, did Minshew do well when he got brought in? Yes. But I don't think that was because Foles wasn't, like,
fit.
I mean, he got hurt. So, obviously, but, like, everyone's argument is, well, before he got hurt, he wasn't doing well.
Or that he wasn't equipped to fucking do the job. It's like, no, you put him in a fucking shitty system.
Exactly.
With pretty much nothing to deal with.
You put him in the right system, and he does well. He went 27
why,
touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Which is why, yeah, he's playing with us now. We haven't been good, but, like, the Chicago Bears are a fucking established football team. Not like
well, and our coaches right now are great. I love our coaches.
We actually have good receivers and running backs.
That too.
We have a good fucking defense again.
Our line could use a little work, but
they can always use work. But, like, he's not in a bad predicament.
No, and that's the thing. Like, I think with good coaching, it goes a long way. And speaking of Jacksonville, they lost. The Colts lost to Jacksonville.
Yeah, the first game.
Yeah. Like, yes, the Colts their defense has looked really good so far. Like, I will admit that. However, who have they played? Start off with Jacksonville. Lost to Jacksonville. Bill is now 1-2. Who do they play after that? Minnesota. What is Minnesota right now? Besides one of the biggest disappointments in the league. 0-3. And I'm sorry, but their defense has looked atrocious to this point. And, like, everyone was like, well, they brought in a bunch of young new talent. Yeah, rookies don't fucking do well in year 1.
No.
Look at Xavier Rhodes. He's now on the Colts. And he's been doing great on the Colts. That's why you don't fucking give up one of your best players for new talent. We talked about that last week with Allen Robinson. Then their third game, they beat possibly the worst team in the league, the Jets. So what quarterbacks have they really, like, yes, they played against Kirk Cousins. But besides that, they played Gardner Minshew and Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is a huge bust. I called that when he came into the league. Everyone was like, he is going to turn the Jets franchise around. He has never looked fucking good at all. Yes, you can say that the Jets team is all shitty all around because it is. But Sam Darnold is not the solution.
No, so, a good quarterback can make shitty players look good.
Yeah. Sam Darnold, though. Poop. Gardner Minshew. He had a stretch last year where he was decent, but he's still 1-2 this year, and they just lost to the Miami Dolphins. And they beat the Colts week 1. So is that really that good of a team? Minnesota. I'm sorry. I don't have anything good to say about Minnesota right now. And Kirk Cousins, since he's lost Stephon Diggs, has not looked like the same quarterback. He has been horrible this year. He threw 3 interceptions against this team. You could say that's great defense. I think it's a little bit of both. I think that's good defense and terrible quarterback play. Every time we play Kirk Cousins, he looks terrible because the Bears defense makes him look terrible. You get pressure on him, that dude, like,
well, that's a shitty thing too, though, is he is good, though. So when that does happen, it's like, oh, well, he just, didn't do well. He played shitty. It's like, but we don't get credit for shutting him down.
Well, that's why I said it's half and half. I think it's half the Indianapolis defense, and then the other half is Kirk Cousins just being Kirk Cousins. Like, I'm sorry, but that dude is not that good. Like, he has great games.
Well, also, yeah, Jacksonville's one win against the ESD.
No, Jacksonville's one win is against the Colts.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to.
So Jacksonville scored 27 on the Colts. Why should the Bears not be able to score at least that many? But we have a better defense than Jacksonville.
Exactly.
So
that's what I'm saying. I'm going to keep my score, but I really hope we don't score a lot more.
No, I'm going to keep my score. Taking in integrity.
I'm just thinking of all their games. Like, I've just been kind of sitting here thinking of their games, and
But everyone's
there's a team that's
defense
gonna
was also
score on them.
very bad week 1. Like, everyone's defense was very hard to judge week 1 because
Yeah.
they have not been out there running, hitting people. Like, they didn't have 4 preseason games to where they could actually, like, start realizing how fast is the game going. Like, hitting people again.
Readjusting to it.
They hadn't hit somebody since, what, January or December? Like, that's a long time to take off and not hit somebody and then be full speed again. So, I'll take that. Like, defenses week 1 are not the defenses that they really, truly are. You could look at the Bears, for instance. Like, what, we had allowed 23 points against the Lions? We should – I mean, I respect Stafford a lot, but there's no way we should have only gotten 1 sack on that offensive line. So, yeah, I'm not going to judge the Colts defense and say, well, week 2 and week 3, they played a terrible Minnesota team who's now 0-3 and a Jets team that's 0-3. So it's really hard to sit here and say, like, oh, the Colts are a really dominant team. They've dominated bad teams. And you could say the same thing about the Bears. Well, they haven't gone out there and dominated bad teams. No, we haven't. But I think that Atlanta is better than any 3 of those teams that they
Oh, yeah. That's why I had us losing. Still Atlanta. Still Matt Ryan.
Exactly.
It all depended on Julio, but also it didn't even really fucking matter. They had Ridley. So
they have 2 number 1 wide receivers. The only reason Calvin Ridley's not a number 1 wide receiver on that team is because they have Julio. Any other team, he's pretty much a number 1 wide receiver.
Yeah.
He's phenomenal. Hurst also got a touchdown. Brought him up last week with the predictions, and he ended up with a touchdown. So. But yeah, so I got 24-16.
27-16.
27-16. I honestly hope we win more than because I want this to be a dominating win.
Well, yeah,
everyone right now
my score, but
everyone right now is dismissing our 3-0 as we're a shitty team. Are we playing up to our potential though? That's the thing. We're 3-0 and we haven't even played up to our potential. Our offense is going to get better with Nick Foles, and our defense is not doing what it should be doing. We're only going to get better throughout the season, and we're still 3-0. So that to me is like,
yeah, we've been getting better, and I remember talking about leading up to week 5 against the Bucks that we were going to win, maybe lose to Atlanta, and then at that point we were going to know that we had shit to give, and if we couldn't beat them, it would be a fucking step back.
I don't want to jump too far ahead.
Building up to that, and then Carolina and the Rams,
this is about the Colts.
And Saints.
It's about the Colts, but dude, you understand what that Buccaneers game is, right?
Thursday.
Well, it's a Thursday night game, yes, in Chicago, right? I believe that's in Chicago. That's a Super Bowl matchup. Tom Brady versus Nick Foles.
Yeah.
And you know who came out on top on that game? Nick Foles, Philly special.
Yeah, I hope fucking Brady doesn't channel that.
No. Honestly, the Buccaneers.
It's Tom Brady.
The Buccaneers lost to the Saints.
Drew Brees.
Hold on. The Buccaneers lost to the Saints, and the Saints are now 1-2. Again, week 1, things are what they are, but the only convincing win they have is against a terrible Broncos team. So I don't know. I'm not convinced on the Buccaneers. Their offense is supposed to be phenomenal. I haven't seen phenomenal out of that offense yet. Gronk has been basically a decoy and a blocker to this point. He has been useless. So, I don't know. I'm not too worried about this Buccaneers defense right now. Or not defense, team. Their defense actually is what I think keeps them in games. But, yeah, we'll talk about that at a later date. 24-16. 27-16. I think we're good on that, right?
Yeah. So drop a comment and let us know what you guys think is going to be the score and what you think is going to happen and what the Bears have done up to this point. And, yeah, call it a night on that. Bear down.
Bear down.